Pepsi is a carbonated soft drink. The soft drink was introduced in 1893 as Brad's Drink, and in 1898 as Pepsi-Cola, and in 1961 as Pepsi. And to this very day, you can still buy Pepsi in lots of different stores, and it is still very popular to this day. So, how did it become so popular? Let's find out. Pepsi was first introduced as Brad's Drink in Brand, North Carolina, United States in 1893 by Caleb Bradham, who made it at his drugstore where the drink was sold. It was renamed Pepsi-Cola in 1898, Pepsi because it was advertised to relieve dyspepsia, today more commonly known as indigestion or an upset stomach, and cola referring to the cola flavor. Some have also suggested that Pepsi may have also been a reference to the drink aiding digestion, like the enzyme pepsin, but pepsin itself was never used as an ingredient to Pepsi-Cola. The original recipe also included sugar and vanilla. Bradham sought to curate a fountain drink that was appealing and would aid in digestion and boost energy. In 1903, Bradham removed the bottling of Pepsi-Cola from his drugstore to a rented warehouse. That year, Bradham sold 7,968 gallons of syrup. The next year, Pepsi was sold in 6-ounce bottles and sales increased to 19,848 gallons. In 1909, automobile race pioneer Barney Oldfield was the first celebrity to endorse Pepsi-Cola, describing it as a bully drink. Refreshing, invigorating, a fine bracer before a race. The advertising theme, delicious and healthful, was then used over the next 2 decades. In 1923, the Pepsi-Cola company entered bankruptcy, in large part due to financial losses incurred by speculating on the wildly fluctuating sugar prices as a result of World War I. Assets were sold and Roy C. McGargle bought the Pepsi trademark. McGargle was unsuccessful in his efforts to find funding to revive the brand, and soon Pepsi's assets were purchased by Charles Guth, the president of Loft Incorporated. Loft was a candy manufacturer with retail stores that contained soda fountains. He sought to replace Coca-Cola at his store's fountains after the Coca-Cola company refused to give him additional discounts on syrup. Gus then had Loft's chemists reformulate the Pepsi-Cola syrup formula. On three occasions between 1922 and 1933, the Coca-Cola company was offered the opportunity to purchase the Pepsi-Cola company, and it declined on each occasion. Growth and popularity. During the Great Depression, Pepsi-Cola gained popularity following the introduction in 1934 of a 12-ounce bottle. Prior to that, Pepsi and Coca-Cola sold their drinks in 6.5-ounce servings for about 5 cents a bottle. With a radio advertising campaign featuring the popular jingle Nickel Nickel, first recorded by the Tune Twisters in 1940, Pepsi encouraged price-conscious consumers to double the volume their nickels could purchase. The jingle is arranged in a way that loops, creating a never-ending tune. Pepsi-Cola hits the spot. 12 full ounces, that's a lot. Twice as much for a nickel, too. Pepsi-Cola is the drink for you. Coming at a time of economic crisis, the campaign succeeded in boosting Pepsi's status. From 1936 to 1938, Pepsi-Cola's profits doubled. Pepsi's success under Guth came while the Loft candy business was faltering. Since he had initially used Loft's finances and facilities to establish the new Pepsi success, the near-bankrupt Loft company sued Guth for possession of the Pepsi-Cola company. A long legal battle, Guth versus Loft, then ensued, with the case reaching the Delaware Supreme Court and ultimately ending a loss for Guth. Marketing. From the 1930s through the late 1950s, Pepsi-Cola hit the spot was the most commonly used slogan in the days of old radio, classic motion pictures, and later television. Its jingle, conceived in the days when Pepsi cost only 5 cents, was used in many different forms with different lyrics. With the rise of radio, Pepsi utilized the services of a young, up-and-coming actress named Polly Bergen to promote products, oftentimes lending her singing talents to the classic Hits the Spot jingle. Film actress Joan Crawford, after marrying Pepsi-Cola president Alfred N. Steele, became a spokesperson for Pepsi, appearing in commercials, television specials, and televised beauty pageants on behalf of the company. Crawford also had images of the soft drink placed prominently in several of her later films. When Steele died in 1959, Crawford was appointed to the board of directors of Pepsi-Cola, a position she held until 1973, although she was not a board member of the larger PepsiCo, created in 1965. Pepsi has been featured in several films, including Back to the Future, 1985, Home Alone, 1990, Wayne's World, 1992, Fight Club, 1999, and World War Z, 2013. In 1992, the Pepsi Number Fever marketing campaign in the Philippines accidentally distributed 800,000 winning bottle caps for a 1 million peso grand prize, leading to riots and the deaths of 5 people. In 1996, PepsiCo launched the highly successful Pepsi Stuff marketing strategy. Project Blue was launched in several international markets outside the United States in April. The launch included extravagant publicity stunts such as Concorde airplane painted in blue colors, which was owned by Air France, and a banner on the Mir space station. The Project Blue design was first tested in the United States in June 1997 and was released worldwide in 1998 to celebrate Pepsi's 100th anniversary. It was at this point the logo began to be referred to as the Pepsi Globe. In October 2008, Pepsi announced that it would redesign its logo and rebrand many of its products by early 2009. In 2009, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, and Pepsi Max began using all lowercase fronts for name brands. The brand's blue and red globe trademark became a series of smiles, with the central white band anchoring at different angles depending on the product until 2010. Pepsi released this logo in the US in late 2008, and later it was released in 2009 in Canada, the first country outside of the United States for Pepsi's new logo. Brazil, Bolivia, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Colombia, Argentina, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, Panama, Chile, Dominican Republic, the Philippines, and Australia. In the rest of the world, the new logo was released in 2010. The old logo is still used in several international markets, and has been phased out most recently in France and Mexico. Niche marketing. Walter Mack was named the new president of Pepsi-Cola and guided the company through the 1940s. Mack, who supported progressive causes, noticed that the company's strategy of using advertising for a general audience either ignored African Americans or used ethnic stereotypes portraying blacks. Up until the 1940s, the full revenue potential of what was called the Negro market was largely ignored by white-owned manufacturers in the US. Mack realized that blacks were an untapped niche market and that Pepsi stood to gain market share by targeting its advertising directly towards them. To this end, he hired Hennon Smith, an advertising executive from the Negro newspaper field, to lead an all-black sales team, which had to be cut due to the onset of World War II. In 1947, Walter Mack resumed his efforts, hiring Edward F. Boyd to lead a 12-man team. They came up with an advertising portraying black Americans in a positive light, such as one with a smiling mother holding a six-pack of Pepsi, while her son, a young Ron Brown, who grew up to be Secretary of Commerce, reaches up for one. Another ad campaign titled Leaders in Their Fields profiled 20 prominent African Americans such as Nobel Peace Prize winner Ralph Bunche, a photographer, and Gordon Parks. Boyd also led a sales team composed entirely of blacks around the country to promote Pepsi. Racial segregation and Jim Crow laws were still in place throughout much of the U.S. Boyd's team faced a great deal of discrimination as a result, from insults by Pepsi co-workers to threats by the Ku Klux Klan. On the other hand, it was able to use its anti-racism stance as a selling point, attacking Coke's reluctance to hire blacks and support by the chairman of the Coca-Cola Company for segregationist Governor of Georgia Herman Talmadge. As a result, Pepsi's market share as compared to Coca-Cola's shot up dramatically in the 1950s, with African American soft drink consumers 3 times more likely to purchase Pepsi over Coke. After the sales team visited Chicago, Pepsi's share in the city overtook that Coke for the first time. Journalist Stephanie Carpel interviewed 6 men who were on the team in the late 1940s. The team members had a grueling schedule, working 7 days a week, morning and night, for weeks on end. They visited bottlers, churches, ladies groups, schools, college campuses, YMCAs, community centers, insurance conventions, teacher and doctor conferences, and various civic organizations. They got famous jazzmen such as Duke Ellington and Lionel Hampton to promote Pepsi from the stage. No group was too small or too large to target for a promotion. Pepsi advertisements avoided the stereotypical images common in the major media that depicted Aunt Jemima's and Uncle Ben's, whose role was to draw a smile from white customers. Instead, it portrayed black customers as self-confident middle-class citizens who showed very good taste in their soft drinks. They were economical too, as Pepsi bottles were twice the size. This focus on the market for black people caused some consternation within the company and among its affiliates. It did not want to seem focused on black customers who fear white customers would be pushed away. In a national meeting, Mac tried to assuage the 500 bottlers in attendance by pandering them to saying, "We don't want it to become known as a N-word I can't say drink." After Mac left the company in 1950, support for the black sales team faded and it was cut. Boyd was replaced in 1952 by Harvey C. Russell Jr., who was notable for his marketing campaigns towards black youth in New Orleans. These campaigns, held at local leagues attended largely black children, would encourage children to collect Pepsi bottle caps, which they would then exchange for rewards. One example is Pepsi's 1954 Pepsi Day at the Beach event, where New Orleans children could ride rides at an amusement park in exchange for Pepsi bottle caps. By the end of the event, 125,000 bottle caps were being collected. According to the Pepsi-Cola World, the New Orleans campaign was a success. Once people's supply for bottle caps ran out, the only way they could go get more ways to buy more Pepsi. Rivalry with Coca-Cola. According to Consumer Reports, in the 1970s, the rivalry continued to heat up the market. Pepsi conducted blind taste tests in stores in what was called the Pepsi Challenge. These tests suggested that more consumers preferred the taste of Pepsi to Coca-Cola. The sales of Pepsi started to climb, and Pepsi kicked off the challenge across the nation. This became known as the Cola Wars. In 1985, the Coca-Cola Company, amid much publicity, changed its formula. The theory has been advanced that New Coke, as the reformulated drink came to be known, was invented specifically in response to the Pepsi Challenge. However, a consumer backlash led to Coca-Cola quickly reintroducing the original formula as Coca-Cola Classic. In 1989, Billy Joel mentioned the rivalry between the two companies in the song "We Didn't Start the Fire." The line "Rock and Roll Cola Wars" refers to Pepsi and Coke's usage of various musicians in advertising campaigns. Coke used Paula Abdul while Pepsi used Michael Jackson. Both companies then competed to get other musicians to advertise their beverages. According to Beverage Digest's 2008 report on carbonated soft drinks, PepsiCo's U.S. market share is 30.8%, while the Coca-Cola Company's is 42.7%. Coca-Cola outsells Pepsi in most parts of the U.S., notable exceptions being Central Appalachia, North Dakota, and Utah. In the city of Buffalo, New York, Pepsi outsells Coca-Cola by a 2-to-1 margin. Overall, Coca-Cola continues to outsell Pepsi in almost all areas of the world. However, exceptions include Oman, India, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, the Dominican Republic, Guatemala, the Canadian provinces of Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island, and Northern Ontario. Pepsi had long been the drink of French Canadians, and it continues to hold its dominance by relying on local Quebecois celebrities, especially Claude Meunier of La Petite Vie fame, to sell its product. PepsiCo introduced the Quebec slogan, "Here it's Pepsi, ici c'est Pepsi," in response to Coca-Cola ads proclaiming around the world it's Coke partout dans le monde, c'est Coke. As of 2012, Pepsi is the third most popular carbonated drink in India, with a 15% market share behind Sprite and Thumbs Up. In comparison, Coca-Cola is the fourth popular carbonated drink, occupying a mere 8.8% in the Indian market share. By most accounts, Coca-Cola was India's leading soft drink until 1977, when it left India because of the new foreign exchange laws, which mandated majority shareholding in the companies to be held by Indian shareholders. The Coca-Cola Company was unwilling to dilute its stake in its Indian until, as required by the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act (FERA), thus sharing its formula with an entity which it did not have a majority shareholding. In 1988, PepsiCo gained entry to India, creating a joint venture with Punjab government-owned Punjab Argo Industrial Corporation (PAIC) and Voltas India Limited. This joint venture marketed and sold Lihar Pepsi until 1991, when the use of foreign brands was allowed. PepsiCo bought out its partners and ended the joint venture in 1994. In 1993, the Coca-Cola Company returned in pursuance of India's liberalization policy. In Russia, Pepsi initially had a larger market share than Coke, but it was undercut once the Cold War ended. In 1972, PepsiCo struck a barter agreement with the then government of the Soviet Union, in which PepsiCo granted exportation of Western marketing rights to Stolichnaya vodka in exchange for importation of Soviet marketing of Pepsi. This exchange led to Pepsi being the first foreign product sanctioned for sale in the Soviet Union, reminiscent of the way that Pepsi-Cola became a cultural icon and its global spread spawned words like Coca-Colaization. Pepsi-Cola and its relation to the Soviet system turned it into an icon. In the early 1990s, the term Pepsi-Sorkia began appearing as a pun on Perestroika, the reform policy of the Soviet Union under Mikhail Gorbachev. Critics viewed the policy as an attempt to usher in Western products and deals with the old elites. Pepsi, as one of the first American products of the Soviet Union, became a symbol of that relationship and that Soviet policy. This was reflected in Russian author Viktor Pelvin's book, Generation P. In 1992, following the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Coca-Cola was introduced to the Russian market. As it came to be associated with the new system and Pepsi to the old, Coca-Cola rapidly captured a significant market share that might otherwise have required years to achieve. By July 2005, Coca-Cola enjoyed a market share of 19.4%, followed by Pepsi with 13%. Pepsi was introduced in Romania in 1966 during the early liberalization policies of Nicole Casia, opening of a factory in Constanța in 1967. This was done as a barter agreement similar to the one in the USSR. However, Romanian wine would be sold in the United States instead. The product quickly became popular, especially among young people. But due to the austerity measures imposed by the 1980s, the product became scarce and rare to find. Starting from 1991, PepsiCo entered the new Romanian market economy and still maintains a bigger popularity than its competitor Coca-Cola, introduced in Romania in 1992. Despite heavy competition during the 1990s, sometime between 2000 and 2005, Pepsi overtook Coca-Cola in the sales in Romania. Pepsi did not sell soft drinks in Israel until 1991. Many Israelis and American Jewish organizations attributed Pepsi's previous reluctance to expand operations in Israel to fears of an Arab boycott. Pepsi, which had a large, lucrative business in the Arab world, denied that, saying that economic rather than political reasons kept it out of Israel. Pepsi Man. Pepsi Man is an official Pepsi mascot from Pepsi's Japanese corporate branch, created sometime around the mid-1990s. Pepsi Man took on 3 different outfits, each one representing the current style of the Pepsi can in distribution. 12 commercials were created featuring the character. His role in the advertisements is to appear with Pepsi to thirsty people or people craving soda. Pepsi Man happens to appear at just the right time with the product. After delivering the beverage, sometimes Pepsi Man would encounter a difficult and action-oriented situation which would result in injury. Pepsi Man is mostly silent, and he has no face except for a hole that opens up whenever he delivers a Pepsi. Another more minor mascot, Pepsi Woman, also featured in a few of her own commercials for Pepsi Twist. Her appearance is basically a female Pepsi Man wearing a lemon-shaped balaclava. In 1994, Sega AM2 released the Sega Saturn version of its arcade fighting game, Fighting Vipers. In this game, Pepsi Man was included as a special character, which his specialty listed as being the ability to quench one's thirst. He does not appear in any other version or sequel. In 1991, Kid developed a video game for the PlayStation entitled Pepsi Man. As the titular character, the player runs on rails, forced motion on a scrolling linear path, skateboards, rolls, and stumbles through various areas, avoiding dangers and collecting cans of Pepsi, all while trying to reach a thirsty person as in the commercials. And there is a history of Pepsi. How did it become so popular? Well, I think the most, well, maybe not the most obvious, but maybe the kind of obvious one being Pepsi Man, because Pepsi Man became very popular in the world with a YouTuber named Chadtronic, who has been reacting to Pepsi Man commercials, and it's also been a rival with Coca-Cola as well, which basically and when there's competition, that can basically cause another company to have more popularity as well. Because when you have competition, it's basically one company competing with another company or a whole bunch of other companies. And that basically can give one company more popularity than others. Anyways, this is where I'm going to end off today's video. If you guys happen to enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe because I do videos every single day. And also don't forget to ring the notification bell so never miss a single video I upload. And also don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell on my second channel. My second channel will be the third link in the description below. And if you guys would like to send me fan art, you guys can send me fan art on my Instagram. My Instagram will be the second link in the description below. And if you guys would like to do more Roblox fingers, my Roblox finger will be the first link in the description below. And if you guys would like to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter will be the fourth link in the description below. And if you guys would like to follow me on Reddit, my Reddit will be the fifth link in the description below. And if you guys would like to follow me on TikTok, my TikTok will be the sixth link in the description below. And if you guys would like to check out my Facebook page will be the seventh link in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!